Okay, the next type of graph that we're going to be looking at is called a frequency polygon, and it's kind of like a line graph. It basically is. It's a line graph, but it has to do with how frequent something happens. Hence the name frequency polygon. So basically, it uses the points that make up the line graph are connected by line segments, and they're basically the midpoints of each class. So here is a set of data, and we are going to watch a quick video this is from your textbook, on how to do this.
In this example, we'll learn to construct a frequency polygon. Suppose you are considering investing in a Roth IRA. You collect the following data, which represent the 5-year rate of return in percent adjusted for sales charges, for a simple random sample of 40 large blend mutual funds. Here are the data. Use the following frequency distribution to construct a frequency polygon for the 5-year rate of return. Here's the frequency distribution. We're going to focus on the frequency column, not the relative frequency column. To construct a frequency polygon, the first thing we need to know are the class midpoints. The midpoint for the first class we find by taking its lower limit 8, adding the next lower limit 9, and dividing by 2. That is 8.5. We continue on for the next class. That's 9 plus 10 divided by 2, or 9.5, and we fill in the rest of the midpoints in the same fashion. In addition to these class midpoints and frequencies, a frequency polygon, we need to have a frequency of 0 associated with the class midpoint that would have preceded the first class and would have come after the last class. Before the midpoint of 8.5, there would have been a midpoint of 7.5 with a frequency of 0, and at the end of the table, a midpoint of 20.5 would have had a frequency of 0. We'll begin by plotting the midpoint 8.5 with its frequency of 2. The next class had a midpoint of 9.5 and also a frequency of 2. The next class had a midpoint of 10.5 with a frequency of 4. And then we fill in the rest of those frequencies above their class midpoint. Now there's 2 that are still missing here. That's the midpoint of 7.5 with a frequency of 0 and 20.5 with a frequency of 0. Now we connect all of these points using straight lines, and it produces a polygon that looks like this.
The only other thing that I thought you guys might be interested in is what the snot is an IRA, right? This whole situation talks about a mutual fund. So it is talking about a Roth IRA. I confused myself there, but an IRA is an individual retirement account is what that stands for. It's something you would, when you invest in stocks and things, the account that you do that is called an IRA, and that's what you would use for your retirement money if your place of employment didn't provide any retirement or didn't provide some retirement for you. And there's traditional IRAs and there's Roth IRAs. And basically the difference is not that big a deal. It's just whether or not you pay the tax on that money up front or whether you pay the tax on that money when you withdraw it. So that's what a Roth IRA is.